Imagine a place that has all of the resources and conveniences of a large city, but somehow manages to avoid the hustle and bustle, the bumper-to-bumper traffic, and the limited parking spaces that go with it. Now imagine that same place is only 20 minutes from the beach, has hundreds of miles of hiking trails, and is packed with parks and nature areas. Well, that place exists, and I'm here to tell you about it. My name is Tommy. I'm with Aviara Real Estate, and today we're talking about the top 5 reasons for living in Thousand Oaks. Let's get right to it. Cheers. So before we get into it, I want to let you know that I was actually born and raised in Thousand Oaks. Yeah, so I went to school here, my friends live here, and my family lives here. I'll also mention that these top 5 points we're going to get to are my opinion. You may have other points of interest or matters that are important to you. Either way, I'll do my best to give you the straight facts about these 5 points. So here are the top 5 reasons, in no particular order, for living in Thousand Oaks. Sitting at number 1, we have lifestyle. If you like food, Thousand Oaks has a large selection of restaurants, spanning a wide variety of cultures and flavors. And there's a really nice balance of charming family-owned establishments and more familiar larger chains. And if you like to be entertained, Thousand Oaks has a few destinations you might be interested in. For example, if you like live performances, the Civic Arts Plaza would be a great place to visit, featuring events from symphony orchestras and musicals to dance productions and comedy specials. And if you like shopping, the Oaks Mall is the perfect place for some retail therapy. It's an indoor-outdoor mall, and if you like designer clothing stores, it features places like Anthropologie, Nordstrom, Michael Kors, and it also has your classic clothing stores like Macy's and JCPenney. They also have a few lunch and dinner spots like the Cheesecake Factory and the Olive Garden, and the Oaks Mall also has non-clothing stores like the Apple Store, Peloton, and they even have an AMC Theater. And we're really just scratching the surface. If you want to learn more about the Oaks Mall, go ahead and click the link down in the description below. And sitting at number 2, we have nature and outdoor activities. So the name Thousand Oaks is no mistake. The city is brimming with big, beautiful oak trees as far as the eye can see. And they're great because they make the best shady spots for picnics in the summertime. Thousand Oaks lies against the Santa Monica Mountains and has around 150 trails for exploring. One of my personal favorite spots is the Wildwood Regional Park. There are tall, stoic peaks and big, beautiful landscapes. You'll also find over 250 different plant species and 70 bird species. If you look hard enough, you'll find the hidden gem that is Paradise Falls. It's a gorgeous 40-foot drop waterfall into a big pool surrounded by big rocks. It's a natural marvel you definitely don't want to miss. Now, the city also has golf courses and parks if you like sports and other kinds of outdoor recreation. Now, one thing that I really appreciate about Thousand Oaks is the Open Space Conservation Agency. There are over 15,000 acres of protected open space, which helps maintain air quality, controls water runoff, and it also protects wildlife by preventing urbanization into those areas. I also think it just allows for there to be a space for us to appreciate nature and to value the environment. And sitting at number 3, we have education. Now, I'm going to talk about education in a very objective way, because when it comes to education, different people have different preferences and needs, right? So for example, some folks would prefer the school with the strongest athletics or the newest facilities, and others would prefer the schools with the highest SAT scores or the highest academic achievement. It's all very, very subjective, but here's what's cool about Thousand Oaks. All of the public schools in the Conejo Valley Unified School District, that's the school district that's in Thousand Oaks, are schools of choice. So as long as a particular school isn't filled to capacity, students who live outside the neighborhood boundaries for that school can apply. There's an application process and a lottery, so if that's something that's important to you, I encourage you to look into it. But knowing that information, here's my advice to you. If education is something that's a deal breaker for you, I would clearly identify what parts of the education system matter to you the most. So then you can click the link that's down in the description to find out what schools fit your criteria and your standards, and then you can make decisions based on that. I'll also mention that there are many private schools in the area if you'd prefer to go that route. The point is, whatever is important to you as far as education goes, maybe it be a higher level music class or a smaller student to teacher ratio, or even resource and special education classes. There's a place for everyone, and that's what I really like about Thousand Oaks. And sitting at number 4, we have the weather. So in the warm season, the average temperature is around 77 degrees. And in the cool seasons, the average temperature is around 68 degrees. Overall, the temperature rarely gets below 40 degrees or above 89 degrees. And you'll rarely find a muggy day. The highest chance of the year that you'll find a humid day would be in August. And even still, there's like a 1 to 6% chance of that actually happening. California is in the desert, so typically the heat is very dry heat. Now let's talk about cloud cover and rainfall. On average, the clearer part of the year usually lasts from late April to early November. And at the peak of clear sky season, the sky is clear, mostly clear, or partly cloudy 91% of the time. So the rainy season usually lasts from late October to mid-April, so around 6.5 months. And the peak of rainy season is sometime in February, and the average rainfall for that month is 3.5 inches. Overall, I'd say we're very spoiled here weather-wise. If it ever gets below 65 degrees, people will start putting on their jackets and start shivering.
Cold that I'm shivering.
It's quite funny, actually. And sitting at number 5, we have location. Conejo Valley, as pilots and stewardesses would refer to it, is the land between the smog and the fog. Thousand Oaks is so conveniently located. It's located 45 miles north of Los Angeles. So you're close enough for easy access into the LA culture, but you're also far away enough to avoid the fast-paced part of the culture. If you get tired of the gorgeous weather, you're only 2 or 3 hours away from snowboard and ski resorts like Big Bear or Mountain High. You love sports? You're an hour and a half away from the Staples Center and Dodger Stadium. How about amusement parks? You're 30 miles away from Universal Studios, you're 50 miles away from Six Flags Magic Mountain, and you're 65 miles away from Disneyland. You really can't beat it. There you have it, folks. There are my top 5 reasons for living in Thousand Oaks. If you liked the video, please go ahead and give it a like. If you want to see more videos from me, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I do market updates every Friday for the Conejo Valley, and I'll also be uploading more helpful real estate tips. And if you feel so inclined, ask me about real estate. Thanks so much, folks. I'll see you next time. Cheers.